Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Umesh Sauba, who is the founder of Nubooks, which is a platform that facilitates accounting for SMBs by making it easy, efficient, and cost effective. Hi Umesh, welcome to ELI.
Hi, Bria. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. Fine, thank you.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm from London.
Oh, wow, nice. And I understand it's afternoon over there, right?
That's right. Yeah, we are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon today.
Gotcha.
So
Awesome.
we just gone past three.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Umesh Sauba. I'm the founder of Nubooks. It's an accounting software that help micro and small businesses to make it easy for them to do their accounts and VAT returns and tax, etc. GST return in India. I'm also qualified accountant by trade.
Mhm. Uh, we'll go into details of new books, but before that, can you set a context by telling us what are the persistent problems in accounting in general, and how big is this problem for SMBs? Why SMBs face certain problem that bigger companies might not face?
Um, Generally, the most important part of accounting is to do the compliance. A lot of small businesses doesn't have the resources to do compliance paperwork, for example,
Mhm,
to do a GST return or to do a tax return or to do an account.
mhm,
So big companies will have a finance department and they will have all the finance director, the finance controller, the finance manager,
right.
the bookkeeper, the accounts payable, all the different thing. Whereas a small business doesn't have any of that. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to help those small businesses to be like a big corporation, but without having to employ the finance director, and
Mhm.
also just help them to manage their own business efficiently. So the more they work for their business, the better it is for them to concentrate on work for their business, not to do compliance work.
Okay. And from a cost angle, how much do they spend on accounting and compliances, and how with automation, how much of it can be eliminated?
So in terms of costing, it's very you can easily employ someone to do about 5, 6 hours of bookkeeping a month. With automation, we kind of erase that 5 and 6 hours, we turn it into half an hour of automation work that you have to do. And it's also making sure it's not just the hours that the entrepreneur gain
Mhm.
from not having to do the work, but it's also that it's done more accurately and efficiently. And in making sure that they're keeping all their records in one place, they're not losing any receipts, they're not losing any information.
Mm.
And so overall, is kind of helping them kind of in terms of costing the hourly rate they will have to pay someone, but also in terms of the hours that they save themselves, as a person, it's probably more invaluable than anything else. I mean, if I can give you 5 hours a month extra, what would you do with it?
Mm. Right. Uh, Tell us a bit about the product and the platform. I understand there is a very interesting feature which can scan any invoice and create a digital version of it, which should be in line with the regulation.
Yeah. So basically, what we have is so new books come with an app, and the app we're just releasing the updated version in the next couple of months. So the idea is people to use the phone, take a picture of the receipts, whatever that receipts may be, from wherever they get it, and from that receipt we will extract all the information from it. So we will extract the name of the supplier, the date of the invoice. We will extract the amount of the invoice, the GST amount, and the total amount, and all that will be populated in our system where you can actually just input it straight away into your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your GST return, and
Mhm.
then it seamlessly just help those people to do that. So you avoid people going out and do manual entry for any GST invoice they have to do or any non-GST invoice as well.
Mhm. What are the different modules inside the application? I mean, what all they can?
So yeah, so what we have is so we have a bookkeeping module and then we have an upload section. So the bookkeeping module keep records of all the basically all your day-to-day bookkeeping. So
Mhm.
we have, for instance, the banking, so you could see your bank account. We have the sales ledger, the purchase ledger, and then we have the reporting. And the reporting will include on your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your trial balance,
Mhm.
and your GST return. And then under the uploads module, we have the option to upload supplier invoices. If you don't do it by a picture, you can upload it electronically through your computer. Imagine if someone send you an invoice in a PDF version, you can upload it on your computer. And then the other one is you could also have upload your bank statements for records onto the platform so that whenever the accountants or you decide you want to process your information, you can actually see uh, all the information in one place instead of having to go around looking for information all the time.
Okay. Uh, Tell us some numbers around how many people are using your platform, how many invoices are getting processed every day, or
So
yeah.
at the moment in India, we've only launched about a month ago. So we have about over 500 users.
Mhm.
People are uploading information. I think we've just gone over 1,000 invoices that's been processed. And obviously we want to increase that to much more market to,
Mhm.
because we need um, the the AI functionality we have would actually need more and more invoices to understand the system better and to produce more better results to making sure that we have an excellent, AI platform for the people using it.
Mhm. Okay. And I understand there are some players who are already operating in Indian market and they have acquired a massive user base. So they operate in the domain of accounting and finances for SMBs. So how do you plan to compete against them? And
I mean, competition is a very good thing. I think people always like to have a monopoly on things. I mean, from an entrepreneur perspective, you should never be afraid of competition. There will always be competition, but then again, there's always going to be a market, and the market is a market, and India is such a growing market. It will become very, very big market in the next couple of years. And to be in that market, no matter what it is other people are doing now, there will be a space for new entrants, new entrepreneur, new startups to go in and do different things. And we are doing things differently. We're not like the old other companies. I'm not going to name them, but they're still doing things the old-fashioned way. They're still on a desktop. They're still not doing using technology to process data. So we want to be the most sophisticated company. And if people like our product, I'm sure they will want to use it more and more because it's beneficial to them, it's
Mhm.
beneficial to us, it's beneficial to almost everyone. So I think yeah, it's a win-win situation from all sides.
Got you. When companies launch a SMB based product that to which operate which delivers its services through mobile apps, it's very difficult to crack the market, and companies use various growth hacking techniques to crack the market. I would love to know if there are any growth hacks that you have discovered which or you're planning to deploy in your go-to-market strategy?
Yes, I mean we are in the process of deploying our strategy on the market now. This is going to basically be a full-on advertising campaign in India
Mm.
and making sure that we reach as many people as possible. One of the things we're trying to focus on is discounting the platform for a period of 6 months. So we'll give 6 months people to um, to use the platform, and the other 6 months they will have to pay like half price for it. So we're looking at various things. Give them 3 months free trial, 6 months half price. So there's a multitude of things we're trying to do to achieve that, and I think it's very important that we actually get this marketing strategy right to make sure that we attract as many people as possible to the platform.
Got you. Uh, Tell us a bit about how you built this venture. When did it all start, and what did you initially thought of building? Was it a accounting app that you always wanted to build, or what was the hypothesis?
I mean, I always like technology. I always into technology. I mean, people that I know, my cousin, for example, they've been in technology as well, and they've been kind of, now you can actually search an image. We were trying this technology out in 2002, how
Mm,
to search an image on the internet. Always been very exciting with technology, and I think it's, accountancy office and has been probably the most kind of outdated in terms of technology. They've all decided they don't want to actually scan invoices, process invoices automatically, do different things. They want to do things the manual way, entering invoicing, and producing reports. And we decided that, we need to improve that. I mean, we can't just stay, in the 20th century. We need to move to the 21st century. And it's a good way of doing that is to introduce technology. So a few years ago, we started working on how do we get the technology right? How do we get the app right? How do we get the AI right? So we had loads of proof and concept mistakes, bad app, bad software, good software, and eventually we've end up with Nubooks, which is basically, after a lot of testing, so it's probably more than 7 years of testing and product, we are actually going to market. So it's not something that we've just come overnight and we're going to do it. We've tested it. We make sure that it works,
mm.
and it does really work.
Okay, so I also understand developing a app again where technology is a big part of it. Developing a app is an expensive affair. How did you fund your app development process or venture building process till the time you generate significant revenue to cover the costs?
I mean, so far it's been funded by myself. I have actually, I have my accountancy practice as a qualified accountant. Has been running my own practice, and
Mhm,
all the money I've earned on this side, bar living expenses, I've put into the app, making sure that the software works, making sure everything works. I've also borrowed money. One thing I'm not afraid of to do is to borrow money. So I've borrowed money from banks as well.
mhm.
So yeah, so we had a few ways that we kind of got the money to actually support what we're doing at the moment, and it's been very much self-sustained from the beginning.
What are the different challenges that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
I think one of the biggest challenges is finding the right people. I mean, people is probably the three P's people talk about, products and pricing and people, etc. There's no five P's or six P's or whatever. There's many P's, but I think the only P's I think is more important than everything else is people. If you get the right people working within your books, which is what we've got now, we've got the
Mhm,
perfect blend of people working. The product is not going to be a problem. The pricing is not going to be a problem. The I don't know what other P's are there, but that's not going to be a problem either. Because I think the people will make it happen. And once you have people finding the right people, and then empowering those people to do the right thing is very important. And I think that if you're going to manage a team, you have to give them the power to make mistakes. So that's
mhm.
another P as well. But just making sure that people understand that mistakes is not a problem. You don't have to get things every time 100% correct all the time. You have
Mm,
to make mistakes, and the more mistakes you make, the better it is because you learn a lot and you correct a lot of things,
right.
and you're making sure that you're going in the right direction.
Okay. Speaking of people, you said you have built a very solid team and you have found the right people for your venture. I want to ask, how did you find them? Which all platforms did you search them on? And how did you convince them that they should be part of your, they should contribute to your vision and they should believe in whatever you are doing?
Well, I mean, so we've used like Upworks, Fiverr, different kind of places to search people. We had recommendation from friends as well, which we used. Um, I think the best way you kind of know about someone is by kind of working with them for a bit and
Mhm,
understand whether they have the same frame of mind, the same attitude, the same direction. And then once you start working with them, you kind of see eventually, whether they are pretending to be this and they are not this. Um, and then you have to. That's why I think it's letting them make mistakes is important. If
Mhm.
If you kind of get on their case, then they will not make the mistakes, and then they will start, behaving differently,
Right.
and not getting the best out of them. So, so I think it's a combination of all of that, but at the same time, there were bad people as well. Don't get me wrong, but you just
Mm.
had to make sure that you leave them as soon as you found them, because you know they're bad, because they're not going to do what they're going to do, and then you have the good people that you make sure that you have to keep them.
Got you. Uh, any pivot to your initial business model that you started with? Did you pivot anything? Anything you are doing differently now?
No, no, I think the business model was always the subscription base. We have to look at it in an Indian context. How would that work? Subscription base, whether people would want to pay a lifetime. So then we need to create a lifetime pricing for it, which might be much more expensive than a subscription base. So these are the kind of thing that we need to discuss in the next couple of months, how that would, once we start going into the market, how that would come about. Um, so it's very important that we understand the market, because we can't just go in our own way and trying to do things our own way. We
Mm.
need to understand the local culture, the local market, how people do business, how we can actually help them to do their business better.
Right. Um, as a business, especially when you're doing an app or platform based business, some metrics become very crucial to track, to understand which direction are you headed, and what is the growth rate and all. So can you tell us some of the key metrics that you track as a venture, to understand what is the progress, how far have you reached?
I think there's two ways of doing it. So one way is that you go through the accountant's route, which is basically you speak to a lot of CAs in India and you talk to them about your product and let them decide when they want to use it. And then the other route is to go with the user route, which is the micro and small businesses.
Mm.
The most in the we are not just focusing on people subscribing, we're also focusing on people engaging with our app. So basically, you've logged in, you've seen our advert somewhere, you click on it, you've gone to our website. We try to engage you. We would want to talk to you. We want to give you some benefit of answer. We want to explain to you. We'll be running webinars to see how a small entrepreneur can help themselves. So there's loads of things that we do to kind of make sure that it's not just take your money, thank you very much, go, but it's more than that.
Awesome. Uh, what would you say is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur?
That's a French word, as people don't realize that. I think it's entrepreneur. So you're doing something. Preneur means you're doing something,
Mm.
um, and you entre you take yourself to do something, and that's the idea of entrepreneur. Um, it's a very simple, basic thing. If you have something, right? Um, and you want to get, you have, for example, you have chickens and you want to get, I don't know, you want to get some clothes or something. So you go to the place and you sell your chicken to get clothes. And that is basic principle of entrepreneur. You have to sell something. And at the same time, when you're selling something, you need to make the benefit of it by buying something better or by using the money better. And at the same time, you'll be expanding because if you have one chicken, you can sell it, make two chicken, three chicken. So it's always about growing the business. So entrepreneur need to look after their business, but at the same time, they need to look after society, because one thing that would happen is if you have a rich society as a business, you will become richer as well. And if you have a poor society as a business, eventually you will become poorer, because you can't just keep taking away from the society and taking it away from it, because the
Mm.
people will have nothing to give at some point. So a very, prosperous place is a place where the entrepreneur actually think about the society, make the society rich. By making the society rich, they get richer because obviously people will be using more and more their products.
Right. uh, as an entrepreneur, you do a lot, you take a lot of decisions, and many of these decisions end up in failures. So tell us about some mistakes or some failures that you have gone through during your entrepreneurial journey.
So for example, one of the failure was, trying to run the first app we did. We had problem with it. We had loads of bugs trying to fix it. When when you were trying to track the mileage, for example, from one place to the next, instead of showing you the place, it was showing you something totally different. So you would never be able to catch where you were. You were never able to catch where you've gone. So, and that was a total failure. So we had to go back to the drawing board and rewrite the entire software to make sure that we know when we left and we know when we actually got to the point. So that failure encouraged us to be better. It didn't kind of make us feel bad or we are terrible at it. But the more failure we did, the much better we got at it. Instead of kind of looking at it in a very a negative way, we looked at it in a very positive way.
My final question, tell us about some of the interesting lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur, which can be taken away by other entrepreneurs, or can be applicable in any venture building in general.
Um, I think the best one is don't be afraid to make decision. You will have to make tough decision, and it doesn't matter if you get it wrong, because next time you will make sure you get it right. As an entrepreneur, you know that you'll have to get it right all the time. But you know also that you cannot be getting it right all the time. At the end of the day, we are human. We have a lot of things affecting our life, our family, our wife, our partners, our children, whoever we have problem affecting us, our friends. And we will have to make decision. And sometimes we make a very harsh decision or rash decision or the wrong decision. But that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. You have to think of it, every decision is a good decision because you learn from it. You
Mm.
got the experience from it. I mean, apart from shooting yourself in the foot, probably is not going to be a good decision. But anything that you do with kind of entrepreneurship, you'll have to think of it from a business perspective, and don't be afraid to make those difficult decisions. And once you make the difficult decision, if it's wrong, doesn't matter. You got it wrong. Learn from it, take from it, and move on. Don't kind of think over it. Oh my God, I made such a bad decision. What happened next time? If I get the same thing, am I going to make a bad decision again? No, you shouldn't be thinking like that. You should know, made a bad decision. Thank you very much. Go on to the next decision. If you get it wrong again, learn from it and do that. Obviously, you will find out whether you are an entrepreneur or not at the end of the day, because some people are not entrepreneur. My
Mm.
wife, she's not an entrepreneur. She doesn't want to be an entrepreneur because she doesn't want to take the risk. She doesn't want to understand the risk of making the wrong decision, right? And entrepreneur as well mean that you have to have faith in yourself. You have to believe that whatever you're doing is going to happen, because otherwise you will feel like, oh my God, what if I don't do this? No, no, you don't have to be what if. You have to be, what if I had the opportunity to do something and I didn't do it, and 5 years down the line I'll be like, if I had did that business 5 years ago, I would have been in a different place now. So that is what you need to think of in terms of what if you can do, and that's very important.
Right. So on this note, we have kind of come to the closing moment of the session. Thanks for your time, Umesh, and it was a great pleasure to have you on our platform. And
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I would say my best wishes for Nubooks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'd like to come and visit the Entrepreneur Lounge of India when I come to India next time.
Absolutely.